So you want to set your units by typing in units, and mine's already in meters, but you want to select it so that it's in meters. And now I want to bring in that Yorkville base map. You could use a sketch, you can use a Google Earth image if you've drawn like a 10-meter line on it. You can bring in any sort of like picture, but the trick is to make sure that you have a scale bar. So we're gonna type in picture, and I'm just gonna select this Yorkville base plan. And it wants me to put the first corner of the picture in, so I'm just gonna go to 0, 0. And you can just let it go anywhere. Just double click. So down here is your 10-meter scale, and I want to make sure that everything is to scale. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click it and type in scale. And I'm going to go into this scale bar and, approximately get it to where the actual line would be. Okay, and so it's asking for a second reference point. And so I want to tell Rhino that this line that I just created on this is supposed to be 10 meters. So then you click 10. And now this should be 10 meters. So I can check by typing in distance. And okay, so that's approximately 10 meters. So you can also hold on. Use a 10-meter bar, and then that's your 10 meters. And you can also scale it to make sure, because this is a bit fuzzy. You would probably want to have a crisper image, but hold on. But yeah, so that's approximately like correct. Like that's a 10-meter line that I just drew, and that's that guy. Okay, so we're going to start tracing this a little bit. There is this one part here that's missing. I don't remember what the distance is. I think it's 4 meters or 5 meters. We're just gonna assume. Sorry?
It's about 3 meters.
3 meters? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just create a line here. I'm gonna match it with this line. Um, Hold on. Oopsies. Um, do, do, do. Okay. And then what I want to do is extrude this curve, extrude curve. And then I want to set it down in the middle because this is going to be like my scissors, my pair of scissors. Gonna move this a little bit this way, as close as you can get it. I'm gonna delete that, and then I'm gonna use the trim tool, or oh, sorry, split. That's the cutting object, and this is the object to split. Enter. Maybe let's try that again. Split. Object to split. Cutting object. Okay. And then now you can get rid of this, and you can move this over by that 3 meters. And now you've got that there. So I'm gonna start drawing on a different layer now, and I'm gonna lock this base. So you can use your polyline, and just in ortho mode, you can start tracing things like this. And then you can use an arc So I like to use the first point and then the end point. Let me turn ortho off. The end point, and then I don't know if you can see this, but then it'll ask you to like finish this middle point of the arc. Um, and then again, okay. And then you want to join all of these lines together. Join. And so let's just say I don't want to repeat that action. What I can do is I can reflect it. Mirror. It gets mirror. Yeah, start a mirror. And then you hold down your shift and you align it with this line here. And then you can move it into place. Okay. And then you can just keep going. Let's start drawing some of these buildings here. What I believe I did was I also took a Google Earth image. I put that scale bar on there and then I brought it in and I think the building footprints might be a little bit different than what we've got here, but um, it should be close. You can also find a plan with like the proper built form. And then you go in and you can calculate how high each of these buildings are in Google Earth by looking at the layers of windows. So, say this building here is 3 stories, or yeah, it's 3 stories tall. So that would be approximately nine and a bit for a roof. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extrude and I'm gonna type in 9. It's not actually 9. I think it's a lot taller than that, but hold on. And then you've got your first building like that. Let's go. Okay. And then again, extrude. I'm just extruding to whatever. Okay. Now let's do one more, this big one over here. And you want to go past the drawing a little bit so that it looks a little bit more like a full building instead of like, a flat iron building. Um, extrude. Yeah. And then for this side of the road, I would do the building it in your front view and then um, putting them that way. So that's how you extrude your built form. And then if you wanted to do like a Boolean difference of the windows so that you could see the relationship between the site and the context, like you can do that. I definitely kept it basic so that inside the site would shine, but that's up to you. You can also do a Boolean difference and create peaks. Um you can, yeah, um so yeah, you can also like create those what's it called? Those things that like are right here. I don't know what they're called. It's like a trellis thing. You can create those trellis things the same way with like the front view and then extruding them out and things like that. And you can bring in those cars and stuff um from those 3D things that I mentioned before that you can find on the internet. But I definitely would say that you should probably build your built context before you start, drawing so that you can see those relationships between the site and the what's it called? The built context. Okay, I'm just checking. So the last thing that I have um, would be how to import a DWG file. So it's like the picture, like importing this picture here, but it's a little bit different. So you go to File, and instead of typing picture, you type import. And then it'll give you the supported file. So you can import your AI file, your contour file, or a DWG that I've, prepared in advance. Um, this is like very, very large. So let's just see how this is supposed to be a 10 meter, um, hold on, a 10 meter box here. So yeah, that's 10 meters. So this is the scale. But yeah, so that's how you would do that. And then sorry, my thing is freezing. Let's try that again. Import. Oh, I think it's not letting me move these up and down right now. I'm not entirely certain why. But yeah, so if you want to import a DWG, definitely start off with that file. So then you would start bringing all of these things in and tracing um, and such. Okay, so let's try a PDF. Okay, so say I don't know like what the scale of that PDF is. I know that it's 1 to 200 in the drawing, but I'm just gonna open it here. And then you can check. So you've got all of your lines from that PDF. This is the 10 meter scale bar that I created, and that's at 2 meters. So again, what you would want to do is you would want to select this whole thing, type scale. This is your base point, this is your reference point, and then I want to tell it that that box, that line that I just drew, should be 10 meters. And then you can check just like this. Okay. And so that's 10 meters. So that's the appropriate scale now. And then same goes for importing a oops, importing an AI file. Say I don't know what it is. I think it should be to scale. And then you would scale it again. But yeah, you can see that all of these lines are still the same. My workflow would be to, draw all of these things in an iterative way inside Rhino rather than doing all of your plan work in Illustrator because it's a lot more precise in here and you can change things. And, you're building this model anyways, you might as well start with that plan and then extrude it out. And if you need to make changes, you can make those changes. Okay, so I think that's everything that I have for today, but I could keep going.
Can you show the donuts?
Oh
The
yeah,
pages?
yeah.
Yeah, donuts. Yeah.
The Taurus. Okay, share. Yeah, so there are these like little donuts here. If you go into this box area, there's this thing called a torus, and that's the center of the torus. The diameter and then the width, for example. So you can see that I just created something like that. And then you can, make it bigger or smaller. So again, let me just put that as shaded here. Do, do, do. So again, and then you can make it bigger or smaller. Yeah, that one's pretty fun to do. And then you can see on the front view that it's kind of below the it's below this image of this picture. You can keep it there like that. It's like a 3D object, or you can move it up just a tiny bit. Or if you just want it to be cut, like I think it is on the site, it doesn't go around. I'm not 100% sure. But you can use trim again and you can cut off. I just use this image as the cutting object. but you can trim it. Yeah, I think if people want, I could show how to do a section, or we could leave it to next week, or we're kind of
Um,
ending a bit earlier than I thought we were
maybe
going to.
maybe just the section one, and we'll leave the other complicated stuff for next time because I think some people wanted to generate sections for their case
Sorry,
study.
you're cutting out. Can you repeat that? So that's a good idea. Okay. So are we recording? Crude curve. So it's going to be a cutting object through here. Um, to make it a bit easier to see, I'm just going to rotate, oopsies. I'm just going to rotate everything so that it's like along this axis so that you can see it in the front view as close as possible. And then what you do is you just trim and then you trim this. Oh, hold on. Trim, objective trim, and that would be this surface. So now you can see that I have cut, hold on, enter. Okay. So now you can see that I've cut away what's in front of this trim line, and that's your section line. Um, and then what you want to do is you want to go into your front view and you want to select everything and go make 2D. So because I'm in this front view, it would be this C-plane or this view, which is front. And then you can select if you want to have the hidden line shown or your tangent lines. But I just would leave it like this, and then this layer will show up as a new one. You can just plop it into a new layer like that. And now you will see here that it is a section cut. So this is that line here. This is that section cut. And then behind here is, how it looks. And then each of these is, yeah. So you would take this and you would put it into Illustrator. You would probably get rid of all of these extra lines. Um, like it's not perfect, but you would clean up these lines here so that it would just be, the most important things. And you would like trim this so that you still would see this behind it. So I'll show you what I mean. Trim, trim here. Okay. And then you would, get rid of things that you don't need. Because this is the inside of this mound, right? So this technically would all be like black. Um, yeah. So this would be the biggest, this biggest line, and then all of these would be these secondary lines. If you wanted to retain those contour lines, but you don't really need them. You would really need this one, because that's 0, but yeah. And then you would export that. So you select this, and then you export selected. And then what you do is if you want to put it into a PDF, you can, but you can also save it as an Adobe Illustrator. Yeah. And then if you say you want it to be 1 to 50, um, or something, you can preserve the model scale, but then you can also, hold on, let's see. Um, sorry, section. I think it would be it would be 5 meters equals 1 centimeter if it was 1 to 50. I'm not great with scale. I just, but yeah, so say you know what you need to do, and then you can open it up in Illustrator. The sun.
Okay. Okay, great. I think that's basically it. Are there any questions?